This is Kugan Cassius for IFLTV. Delighted as always to be joined by manager extraordinaire Sam Jones. How are you, Sam? Your eyes are looking very blue today.
Thank you. My eyes are green. But Coogan, we're gonna get extra stick. Well, I'm gonna get extra stick because this is like we've done one last week, didn't we? So I'm gonna be very unwelcome on the timeline today. But we're gonna do it regardless.
Absolutely, absolutely. Look, there's nowhere else to start apart from, yeah, a sad few days in boxing. A couple of days ago, we saw the passing of heavyweight legend George Foreman, and then obviously last night we learnt of the news of the passing of journalist Colin Hart. Um, yeah, I mean, we're seeing all the tributes kind of coming in over social media. Sam, I mean, George Foreman, 76 years old, um, won a heavyweight world title 20 years on from when he won his
45.
previous one. Yeah, incredible. But just of that era, yeah, I mean, Joe Fraser passed away, Muhammad Ali passed away, now George Foreman. It's very sad.
Yeah, listen, very very sad. And George Foreman was again. He was um, before my time, unfortunately. Um, but I've watched all the legendary fights and watch him come back at the age of 45 to. Do you know what's mad? I only watched the George Foreman film only a few weeks ago, and I loved it. The story of George Foreman. He's a legend, absolutely absolute legend that could box in any era, and that's why he's an all time great. Big George Foreman would be a big miss.
Absolutely, and a little bit ironic that the the main source of his kind of wealth came from the group.
Real.
Yeah, they did.
We've all got one. I've got one. We've all got one.
I had one. I don't have one anymore, but I did have one. Yeah, but that's where he kind of amassed his, if you want to call fortune or whatever from that, as opposed to kind of all the fights that he had.
Yeah, to be smart outside the ring. So he's setting an example that way. He was an entrepreneur, wasn't he, Big George? So he did his grill, and they're going strong now, and I'm sure they'll go strong for forever. I think a lot of households have a George Foreman grill.
Absolutely. Um, okay. Yeah, thoughts and prayers go out to George Foreman's family, obviously, and Colin Hart as well. Um, Sam, just to recap on yesterday, we're not kind of always used to watching boxing in the morning on a Saturday, but
I like it. Apart from the kids running riot, doing my head in, I like running in front of me. I really enjoyed it. I like it's different, isn't it? You wake up and you're watching. You've got boxing on at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's brilliant, really good.
to be fair though, I mean, we're normally watching US shows at around 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. By the time it's finished, it's
Not me anymore, Coogan. I'm too old for that. I will tape it nowadays, unless it's a really big fight. I can't do that and then have kids running all over the house. Going to bed at 5:30 and then waking up an hour later. That's them days are gone for me, Coogan.
yeah. Yeah, obviously win for George Cambosis. I suppose they're talking,
Really enjoyed that fight.
yeah.
Really enjoyed it.
Sky Nicholson losing a world title to Brown. And yeah, we saw heavyweight
Ter-
Terramona.
Terra Moana. Love that
Terramona.
guy.
Yeah,
He's a complete fucking Fruit Loop. Love him. He's going to be in some brilliant fights. He is. I actually think he did fight that fight on purpose, where he took one to be entertaining. Because otherwise, if he would have just got on the back foot and boxed that gentleman that he boxed. I cannot remember Singh, who was he was terribly out of shape. It would have been boring. So Terra Moana has obviously looked at the addressed the situation by just going in there and having a 30-second ding dong with him, which is it's better than watching him get on the back foot and sticking the jab out against somebody who's way below his levels. He needs a good test, Terra Moana, really good. But I'm a massive fan of him. Look forward to watching his fights, and he does the hacker afterwards, and he's a nutcase, which gives him the edge. Love him
just what we want in boxing as well. Characters like him, absolutely.
absolutely.
Right, I know they spoke to you a few days ago, so not loads has changed, but we have seen kind of these talks or whispers of a push for your fighter Jack Catterall to fight one Harlem Eubank. Um, First of all, talk to me about how that fight benefits Jack, and secondly, how realistic is that to happen?
So it's come out of the blue. I I wanted to do Conor Walker against Harlem Eubank, right? And then one Jamie Conlon tweeted over the top of it saying, "Why not Jack Catterall against Harlem Eubank?" And at first, I got to be honest, I was like, "Eh," and then Jack Catterall was like, almost, "Eh," like, are they serious? Like, but then you kind of wait up and think all these names are tied up. Cambosis, who Jack would love to fight. Hitchens, Jack would love to fight. He's fighting in June. Barboza Lopez in May. They're all tied up, really. Josh Taylor's, who the trilogy was being discussed, he's fighting Echo Esserman in May. Jack needs a fight. Jack's going to need a fight. And you know this about Jack, and everybody knows this about Jack. He's not ducky. He's not going to shirk a challenge. If Harlem Eubank wants to step up and fight Jack Catterall, I think that people will be interested in the fight. I think they're off their heads, but I think it'll be a good build up, won't it? Chris Eubank Senior, Calla, me, Eddie. I think it would be an interesting build up, and I think it would do really well. Whatever people would say about the fight, I think it would do really well. And Jack Jack just wants to be involved in big fights, and I think it would do well. I think it would do well in Manchester. Yeah, if it happens, Jack's open to the fight. But if it doesn't, it doesn't. But Jack's not going to turn down a challenge against anyone, least of all Harlem Eubank.
So you're saying there's genuine legs in this, possibly?
Yeah, I don't see any reason why not. Like, providing we don't get kicked in the balls with Doe, but I don't think we will, because I think Jack's we're sensible. We're sensible. We're not greedy, but we will get what Jack deserves, and Harlem will have his number. But let's see.
At what
Catch
what weight
Eubank.
would
It
that be?
could. Hey.
At what weight would that be?
Um. Don't know. 140 could be 147. Could be a catch weight. Don't know. It's not been that we've not really spoke about it that far. But I had a good chat with Jamie Conlon yesterday, and they believe Harlem will beat Jack. Like, I think he's nuts, but he thinks Harlem will beat Jack. So Team Eubank believe he will win the fight. Like, so if that's what they think, then let's see. If it happens, it happens. But if it doesn't, then no problem. Jack will be in a big fight regardless. There's loads of big fights out there for Jack this year. But in and around this time frame, it could work well. Like, it could work well early, like middle summer.
Yeah, I mean, look, just from an outside perspective, it seems a bit of a random fight. Like, obviously, Harlem Eubank
Very random
going
fight.
his way. I kind of question from your side, where you're obviously trying to now, still after the Barboza fight, get Jack towards going towards getting a shot at the world title. Does Harlem Eubank, does that add to him moving a step closer to?
If Harlem does great numbers, Harlem Eubank does great
Yeah,
numbers on Channel 5. It's like, would you rather Jack, right? I'm asking people, right?
yeah,
Because we can do this. Would you rather Jack fight someone ranked in the WBO at 140 that, with the greatest respect, the man on the street don't know? Or
yeah.
would you rather him fight a Harlem Eubank in Manchester?
100% Harlem Eubank.
I'm just saying, because I know people will go, oh, what does this do for Jack? Or Harlem doesn't do, like, if Harlem wants to step up, like he was going to fight Adam Azim, there's the Dalton Smith, like people keep asking me about the Dalton Smith fight. There's I can't speak highly enough of Dalton. Genuinely, I believe he's a friend, really. Dalton, Grant Smith as well, the team, Sean O'Toole, we have great respect for one another, right? We would do that fight next in a heartbeat, but they're not idiots. They're not idiots. They're not going to put Dalton and sacrifice his. Because listen, they'll believe they win the fight. We believe we win the fight. They're not going to put Dalton. I'm just explaining it so the fans can understand why these fights won't happen next. Because Dalton is number one in the WBC. He is not going to fight Jack Catterall because they're not stupid. Do you understand? They're not stupid people. Sean O'Toole and Dalton and Grant. They're not stupid. They don't want to jeopardize their position. So they're going to keep fighting who they're fighting until they get the title shot, which hopefully is by the end of the year. And then I'm sure the fight with Jack will happen. I'm sure it will happen. But right now, would you prefer Jack to fight someone in the top 10 as in the WBO who we've not heard of over here? Or do you want him to fight him against Harlem Eubank, who does audiences of 250,000 people on Channel 5? I'm asking you the question. If
Yeah.
not, and there's no appetite for the fans, then it won't happen. But Eddie's not an idiot. Frank Smith's not an idiot. Caller and Nissa aren't stupid. Chris Eubank Senior is not stupid. Harlem Jack, we're not stupid. I believe the fight, if it happens, it might not happen. There's been no offers. There's just been provisional talks. If it does happen, I genuinely think it does really well. I think the press conference will be brilliant. I think the build up will be brilliant, and I actually think it will be a really good fight. We think Jack wins. We think Jack wins the fight. I think Jack would. I think Jack would look really good against Harlem, but there's jeopardy in the fight. If Jack lost to Harlem Eubank, what just happens with Jack? If Harlem wins, he's in world level. But if Harlem loses, there's. I'll leave it there. Do you want to see Jack fight a top 10 rated WBO in the WBO, or do you want to see him fight a domestic opponent, have a big summer domestic showdown with a Eubank?
Do you know what? I'll be honest with you. I was kind of umming and ahhing before this Zoom call. Now I'm fully convinced. You've just sold it to me on the back of that.
Well, listen, I'm only saying it because
Yeah, no, but it makes sense.
Kugan,
It makes sense what you said. I'll be honest.
this is all I'm saying because I know you'll probably clickbait the start bit, but if you actually listen to the interview of what I'm saying to you, I'm giving because I get so much. Oh, what does this do for Jack? All right, then I'll fight him against some fella from the other side of the world and bring him over to Manchester and let Jack box him. How about that? No, you don't want to see that. You want to see Chris Eubank Senior roast me at a press conference, build the fight up, Caller and Eddie and Senior and Eddie going at it, and then have a domestic fight in the summer in Manchester. Sit back and enjoy the ride we're taking you on, baby.
Let's do it. Let's do it. It's done. It's done. Okay, Sam. Just to finish up on, obviously we're
Yeah,
gonna.
you better get me off quick because I'm going to get
No.
roasted in the comments today.
Just a couple of things. Obviously, we're going to speak to you in greater depth this week for Altrincham Friday night debut of
Yes.
Pat Brown, and obviously,
Cannot wait. Really cannot wait. I'll quickly run down the card with you. I will shout him out, even though I don't manage him. Will Crawler, big puncher. He sold a load of tickets. He's in a bit of a step up. Connor Tudsbury in a decent fight. Believe me, in his second fight. Don't blink with him, though, because he can whack Connor Tudsbury. He can seriously whack. Mark Dickinson, after his Japanese prize fight disappointment, he came back, knocked the cobwebs off, but this is his first proper fight back. Reece Farnhill from Manchester. He sold a load of tickets. English title fight. Then we're moving on. Cameron Vong against Jordan Flynn. It's
come
finally
on,
going to happen.
come on.
I'm not even worried. I'm not even worried about this fight not happening. Cameron Vong against Jordan Flynn. Cannot fucking wait for this fight. WBO European title fight on the line. And then Patrick the Bomber Brown. Patrick Bomber Brown, the most anticipated debut of the year, what everyone people thinks. He's headlining his own show. He's sold loads and loads of tickets, and he's coming for war, baby. He's coming for war. Altrincham next week, Friday night, not Saturday.
Friday.
Remember, so finish work early on the Friday and make sure you're there. Don't miss a single fucking fight. 'Cause it's going to be great. Woo, let's go.
That's better than anything Hearn's ever fucking done. Come on.
Listen. I'm the Eddie Hearn. Actually, I've been upgraded, haven't I? I used to get called Hearn off Wish, but I think I'm a Marks and Spencer's Hearn.
Timu, I heard.
Timu, right? Yeah, can deal with
Last one. Who wins? Who wins? Jake
what?
Paul versus Anthony Joshua. Who wins?
Jake, but fuck off. Anthony Joshua would knock him unconscious in one round. I like Jake, by the way, proper hustler, but he would get knocked the fuck out of his trainers in one round. But we would all pay to watch it. We would all pay to watch it because you see all these people that go, oh, this is ridiculous. You're not telling me you're not tuning on to Netflix or DAZN, whatever the fuck channel it's going to be, and watch Anthony Joshua derail Jake Paul. It'd be absolutely hilarious. So all these people that say they won't watch it, yes, you would. Don't tell lies.
Right, Sam Jones, we'll let you get on with the
I'm
rest.
off to the tip, Coogan. I'm off to the tip to drop off some shitty nappies and like God knows, fuck knows what else is in those bin bags. But I'm off to the tip to go there. Have a great Sunday. I know Pug's there as well. Have a good day, Pug. And I'll see you all soon. And I'll see you next week in Altrincham. Wallop.
Have it. Thank you very much, Sam Jones.